Hey everybody, we're here to talk about Monsters at Work, episode 5, called The Cover-Up. I don't know why in any word of the sense that I'm singing, but hey, good enough. That's what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about episode 5, The Cover-Up, the plot summary. I'll start putting some of these up. Tyler and Duncan accidentally cause a citywide power outage and must cover it up from an inspector. Dun dun dun. Brian coming in with one of the best lines of the show here. Nobody saw nothing. That's definitely his Duncan's line that he's got. So hey everybody in the chat as we've been talking. So glad you can join tonight. Yes, glad to have you along as well, Wolf. Accident scene is some of the best animation. Yes, absolutely. John Michael Higgins. Yeah, he voiced the inspector. And we've got Lauren in there. So hey Laura, hey Peter, hey everybody that we've had that's going on here. We do have some special guests along with us tonight, and we'll go ahead and pull them in for a quick second along with us. And of course it's Giovanni and Ashley joining us again. So welcome.
Hey everybody.
Hey.
And we were a couple minutes late because they had some decorations on the wall above them, and they fell down as we were they just off the wall.
Shoddy craftsmanship on my part, but
now they have to cover it up.
Oh.
Yeah, nobody saw nothing.
Nobody saw it.
Nobody, oh yeah! Oh boy, look at this one. Cars 5. We haven't even had 4.
I'll take 2 more though.
Oh, and this was definitely a plot you'd see in The Office. Hello, Joe. Nice to have you along as well. So what do you say we start diving in and talking about this episode? We've got a lot to talk about. We've got a nod to Greek mythology in this episode. We've got some other Easter eggs with Needleman and Smitty. We've got some screenshots to share. We've got some amazing animation to talk about. I've got some more insights. Well, not insights, but just more thoughts on Duncan. I literally cannot get enough of this dude.
He's one of my favorites now. Like this episode put it over the edge for me. I'm
Yes.
just like, all right.
Hey, Ro.
I love
nice
you.
to have you back.
Like, you're my favorite.
Yeah. Oh, I know. He is my favorite
Yes.
as well. Okay, so let's just talk about him real quick since we're already on that topic. What did you guys, Giovanni, Ashley, what did you guys think of Duncan in this episode?
Well, he was already my favorite.
Okay.
And now this is why he's my favorite, because he's just so good in it.
Yeah.
He's like, oh man.
Yeah, you pointed out something that you really like about Duncan's design is his lip.
Yeah, I don't know what it
Like how it goes down in the middle?
It
Yes.
just makes him look so cute, but also mischievous. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I just love him.
Yeah, it's super cool. I don't understand. There's so much about his rig. Like, I still look at Tyler and I'm like, there's still things that feel unfinished or scaled back. I look at Duncan and he is a full-fledged, flawless character.
Yeah.
Every element of him, the vocal, the acting. Like, we talk about Mike always being on point with the acting. Duncan is always amazing with the acting
the eye
as
work,
well.
everything. I love that. But so much.
His
So much.
wings,
Yes, the wing.
When he
Yes.
moves slightly and his wings pop up.
Yeah, so much you can do with the expressions just in his body alone with those. So,
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to see if this keeps you guys... Oh, good. It did keep you guys on. So, hi, you get to be solo as well. So I just wanted to bring it back. I just wanted to see if that worked if we're talking. Oh, they clarified. I mean, Cars 4. Well, that's okay. You're just getting ahead of it. And we got the car from Mike's car that's in there.
Mm-hmm. I will say this was my favorite episode so far.
Well, look at that, right? With oof. This is definitely my favorite episode, by the way. That is a great avatar.
Yeah.
Duncan is such an entertaining character. I love his scenes. And Ro, we know how you feel about Cutter. We're going to talk about Cutter. Don't go there yet. We're going to talk about Cutter. She had some missed opportunities.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's definitely he is Dwight Schrute so badly.
Yeah.
But love him. Love every minute of him. So yeah, so the winner of this episode to me goes to Duncan.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, the other thing we were talking about with all of his animation, like you were saying with his wings and everything, I love he's got his 4 eyes that are on those stems, but as different scenarios happen, they kind of overlap kind of differently and do different things. Like right when Fritz is getting ready to leave, like they lower to his body and he's like, I could never do it to your level. And like they're all like interwoven and tighter, but then as soon as he leaves, they're like, yeah. Oh, so good. Oh, Joe coming in with Team Cutter over here. Sorry, Duncan. That's okay. Cutter's amazing too.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Duncan is definitely the sleeper hit of the show. Yes. And yeah, we know Ro. Team Cutter also. Okay, so this one, it starts out with the sneaky intro of Fritz coming to the door and trying to get in with the secret password with Needleman and Smitty. So this one, I didn't know where this was going to go when it started.
Yeah.
But I thought it was super cool that they let him in with the secret or like capital 1 2 3 or whatever. Like that's just so cheesy. But it's got like
I laughed at that. Like,
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie. I
Oh,
was like,
for sure.
that's totally something he would say.
Yes. Oh, Brian coming in. Ricky Roxburgh did a phenomenal job writing this episode. He wrote a lot of the best episodes of the Tangled series as well. Look at this.
Interesting. Yeah. This was my favorite one. It was so funny.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely was. So, okay, so they go in, they come in, and then they set up this vacation door thing. That is so cool.
Yes.
We had never, as far as I know, the only time that we've heard anything sort of along those lines is where Mike is like, why couldn't we be banished here?
Yep.
Like, when he goes to the, like also
just
like
through
a
all the door,
Hawaiian.
yeah.
Yeah. Like, but they never talked anything about vacation stuff. So
No.
I loved that addition.
Yeah, it was very clever.
Yes. Yeah, that was cool. So, and I like that he goes right for the Caribbean vacation. The other ones were great too. Like a rotting, moldy cabin.
A vampire cave or a vampire castle.
Yeah. It was all, they were all like really good. And the final line before you get the opening credits, which is like, oh, Needleman and Smitty are not. they're
all
going
shady characters. Yeah, they got a dark side we never knew about.
Yeah, they're like, we don't say against company policy. We say debit or credit. Oh, it's so good. So, yes. And Ro, I love how Needleman and Smitty are being used in the show so far. They've been getting some of the best gags without feeling overused, and that is true. They definitely don't feel like they're just bit characters. I mean, they are bit characters, but they don't feel...
Like just thrown in there.
Yeah, they don't feel... They have a purpose.
Yeah.
And they're really driving the story forward. They're always there to, like, move things along. I love them. Yes, at the end, how they continue Duncan's call. We'll talk about that as we get towards the end of the episode. How about of the vacation doors? Which would you guys have picked? Would you have picked the Caribbean one, or would you have done like what? It was the castle, it was the fishing one, and what was the other one? There was one other one before the Caribbean one. The very first one, wasn't it? Was it
It was a submarine or...
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think most people would probably go for the Caribbean one, but is that what you guys would go for? How about in the chat as well?
I don't know. I would have picked the Transylvania.
Yeah.
I don't know. Spooky vampire castle. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm Caribbean all the way.
I knew you were going to be.
Caribbean for sure. Yeah.
Well, so I think as far as overall cleanliness, I would have to go Caribbean. Because there's no way I'm going into that castle or that like moldy smelling cabin.
Cabin in the woods.
Yeah, that's not happening. It's not clean enough. And oh, Ro, you know just how to satisfy and make me happy. Oh, hey, Spencer coming in with another one too. Hey, and it's Gamer Boy Zuniga. Let's see if I remembered it properly from the last hangout. Oh, cabin for me. I'm in Florida already. All right. Yeah, I guess you do kind of get that. The cabin in the woods doesn't sound bad. Yeah, but that weird thing that came out of the bucket.
Yeah.
Not so much.
Yeah. So, okay. So we've got then we cut after the opening credits to the Wheel of Temporary Supervisor. And okay, why how did they pick the slots and why was Duncan on there for such a large wedge?
Yeah.
Because he wanted to be it so bad, so he must have
But how did he get it? Like, he didn't create the wheel.
He probably did create the wheel. Maybe
Okay.
he did.
Yeah.
He was probably like, this is my only way to get the job.
Or
Yeah.
Val made it, but she was like, okay, we'll make yours, she's
Yeah,
very accommodating.
I didn't pay attention to his background. Was his the red glittery
Yeah.
one?
Yeah.
He doesn't strike me as a red glittery
Well, I
kind of
think
guy.
maybe Val made it, but
She was giving him the
Yeah.
she was giving him like the edge there because she knew how bad he wanted it.
yeah.
Oh yeah, right away he takes like the thing and he puts it over his thing instead of saying assistant supervisor. It now says temporary.
That whole bit when he loses, though, when he calls the phone calling mom, that cracks me up every time I watch
Yes.
it. Like, hey, mom. Every time.
He's like, remember how I said dreams would come true? Well, they're not.
They don't.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. I love how he's like playing it up the whole time, petting Roto. Roto's licking him to make him feel
Yeah.
so hilarious. Oh, but before they even got to the phone call, Cutter came in with she slipped in a great line there. So Cutter comes in, what's next? Yoga? Neither me or my schedule is that flexible. Oh, that's a great line.
It was, but she was missing lines.
Okay, do it.
When they did like the vacation doors, I wanted her to say, remember Charlie, he went to so-and-so and never came back.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
Like, I miss her saying
I mean, there's what was it, David that was on the wheel, and they like taped
Crossed
over
him-
it into Tyler.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was kind of like.
I just miss her saying gosh, yeah, 'cause went to the submarine, never came back.
yes, like I just like I wanted something to happen. We talked about it on every episode so
Yeah.
far. We want that callback joke to keep happening because it's so good. I do like as we get to reading some of the future episodes, one of them sounds like it's gonna lean into that heavily. So that's a good thing. Yeah, well, I learned that today they can't. So, of course, we see Fritz go off. I like how he comes out already with his little blow up and he's got his hat on. Duncan takes over, of course, and goes too far. Oh, yeah, you're right. She was ready to declare another workplace death later in the episode. We'll talk about that, Brian. Oh, and I love that. And Jim, Tyler seems like a blend between Jim Halpert and Ryan Howard.
From The Office.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. He is kind of like between those two for sure. Yeah, there it is. But I loved another entry for the accident journal, and I love how it wasn't like a log, like it wasn't like an official log like you have to do for work. It was a journal. Like it's like she's writing these down for her own personal, not for like a workplace event. Like workman's comp that has to be like officially logged with HR. Hey Brady. Oh, nice to see you, Cleo, as well. All right, so Duncan takes over and of course goes too far, but that is going to lead me to some of our screenshots. So I'm going to start with this one, and you guys see this on the screen, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so perfect. So yes, so this is already great that this is a little zapped forward here.
I love the set too.
All
I like how
the
he
cans.
was just like kind of vacationing himself, sitting in the chair, and I just love like the scale. Like you just feel like that's like a huge room. Yes.
Yeah. So that's before the power goes out. Okay, so when he's down here, so he's listening to his music, and as he's having Tyler do all this, Supervisor Jams Volume 3.
Wow, 3 volumes.
So has he been temporary supervisor before? And
No,
this
he's
is
just on number 3.
like he's like envisioning to do this all the time. That's hilarious. And the radio is scariest. the manufacturer, but I loved that it was with a Z too. Supervisor with a Z, jams. So ridiculous. So then, yes, we get to the point where he takes it too far, and he opens the can after he gets knocked over by Tyler. Amazing direction as that whole scene unfolds. And it's like, he's attached to the camera would be attached to the canister flying around with Duncan. Just absolutely love that direction. And again, that animation on Duncan is so good as he's flying around. So Ro, yeah, Duncan knows what he wants. Got to give him that. Well, that's definitely Dwight Schrute. I mean, he knew what he wanted too.
There was something they mentioned in that scene that how they were mentioned they were emptying those Scream canisters, like just getting rid of them. Because we were talking right before that scene happened.
Yeah.
We had mentioned, we're like, we wonder if we'll see the when they switch to the large canisters that you see at the end of Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
Of course, like months later. So we wonder if we'll see that sort of.
We were talking about it, and then 2 minutes later that scene popped up. We're like, that's probably the answer. They're emptying all the little ones.
Yeah.
Big ones for the laugh power.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
I didn't either.
And if you notice on some of the cans, let me see if I go back to that screen share. Let me go here again. Like where it normally says like scream canister capacity, the word scream is like removed from all of these. And
wow.
And on some of them that they're using now, it says laugh. It says, I think it says laugh energy or laugh capacity or something like that. Or laugh, it says something like that. But I was interested as why, like, are they changing over and, like, relabeling or something like that? I was like, ooh, I don't know. But yeah, there are some where the word scream is gone that they're emptying. And some of the new ones say laugh. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So they go through that as far as with flying around with the Scream canister and everything.
Oh, before the power goes out.
And this is right when the power goes out, is you come over here and you see them playing New High Score. So they've got theirs, and then I started looking at these names. So Needleman's at the top. Mary G, you have to assume, is for Mary Gibbs. So voicing Boo again. Then I started looking at the other names, and obviously an easy one is Bob's at the bottom. So Bob's Ganaway, the executive producer. Some of the other ones that I tried to match up,
right?
Not of all the episodes.
Okay.
But some of them, yes. So Kat, I believe. So I went through the credits and tried to match up all the names. Now Steve and Sean, and I think it was Steve, Sean, and Shane. There's multiples, but there's only one Kat, and I couldn't find anything for Kate. I looked for Kate, Caitlin, Katie, like different ways, but Kat is most likely Kathleen Good, the supervising director of this episode. Shane is probably Shane Zalvin, the director of the episode. Steve, there could be a couple Steves, but I think it's probably Steve Cunningham, who is the animation supervisor on this one. Like I said, I couldn't find anything for Kate. Sean Lurie is the producer of this episode.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah. So I presume those are the names that are on there. But I love them. I love that they're always just goofing around.
I know.
Like, hey. And you don't really see his back too often with these little spikes.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of neat. Okay, so I think I'm zoomed back out of that one. So then we get to
The inspector.
That would be Argus Blinks. So this is where I was like, hey, wait a minute. This sounds familiar. And I started going back into like my brain. I don't ever claim to like remember a lot of stuff, but I can remember when I've heard something. And I'm like, oh, let's go back to high school. I'm like, I remember something in high school when we were doing like Greek mythology. That name sounds familiar. So I start Googling it, and I come up with Argus. So I'm going to look at it here. Argus Panoptes. Argus Panoptes. And that literally stands for all-seeing. So the name Argus is the Greek god that was like the protector of somebody that was all-seeing. So his name is Argus,
and then
because he has a whole bunch of eyes and he can see everything.
What the?
Look at TJ coming in with those fun facts.
That just blew my mind.
Isn't that cool?
Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What? I don't. Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
the fact
crazy.
that you heard it, you're like, wait a minute.
I'm like
wait a
Argus.
second,
I'm like
Argus.
Argus. I'm like eyes, Argus. He could see everything. I'm like, something is back here.
How do you?
I told you, I don't say that I remember everything, but I can remember when I've heard something.
Wow.
So there we go. And then if you look at like his like literal last name is Panoptes, so Pan meaning like all, like a pandemic, it's everywhere, and optic,
Yeah.
like the beginning of that. So I was like, ooh. So I was like, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty amazing.
And they threw obviously the blinks in there, so that was like a fun one. So yes, glad you guys liked it as well. What a design for that guy.
Oh, I was cracking up when they were making him go take a vacation.
Like trying to pick him up and everything.
Why is he so wet?
Yeah.
Like,
It was so funny.
Yeah, Otis is the receptionist. We wondered who the receptionist was the last time we did one of these. There's an OK pillow from MU at 11 minutes and 25 seconds. I didn't see that.
Wow.
Excellent. So the big canister in Monsters Inc. laugh floor has Scream crossed out and laughter written in marker.
Nice.
Yeah. So let's see. Oh, yeah. Oh, Mary. Going back a little bit. Okay. Yes, his case of slimy eyes. I was wondering how our son was going to perceive that when we were watching it, because they even make the music a little more suspenseful, although it's still a little too quiet for my liking. But they definitely make the music a little more suspenseful
and he's
there too.
weird about eyes. Like that's what freaks him out.
Our son is definitely, but usually it's if a character has like red eyes or different
Yellow
color
eyes,
eyes, red, yellow, blue. If it's not like a standard.
No, even the eyes on Mr. Bucket scared him.
Okay, do you guys know? Does anybody know this toy, Mr. Bucket?
Is that the one?
It's like a toy for like toddlers, and like it like goes like this, and he spits out the balls, and you're supposed to put them back in, and whoever gets out. Okay.
So
he wanted this so bad when he was like 3. Like 3, 4, I think he was 3. And we got it for him, and he was terrified. Terrified of Mr. Bucket.
Because he's got these dead eyes that are just like,
So I had to make paper sunglasses and tape them, and then he would play with it.
Yeah. So Mr. Sunglasses had to chill out. He had to wear sunglasses.
Yeah,
Only recently we were able to take them off, but before that he'd be like, "Whoa,
I want Mr. Bucket."
So Brendan has an interesting point coming up here about Argus as well. So I wonder how they did the modeling rigging animation for Argus, since they had so many issues with Hank, and this probably had such a smaller budget than Finding Dory. So because it's again one of those characters that doesn't have.
They didn't show him moving too much.
Well, yeah, so when they did, he was very held together except for just the bottom with his feet.
Yeah.
So
it wasn't until they were
Would you consider that, Giovanni, from your background? Like, would that be, even though he has a bunch of limbs, easier to animate since they kind of all held together tight?
Well, yeah, probably, but I think it works really well for his personality, just how uptight he is and everything. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense that he wouldn't be this sort of loose creature, this monster moving around. So
that's true.
It was kind of cool. Oh, go ahead, Julie.
But then when they throw him and stuff.
Yeah, I mean that was cool because when we were watching the episode, I thought, I was like, I wonder if we'll ever see these tentacles do something, if they were going to stay that straight the whole time. So when we saw them sort of loose and they were flopping around, I bet that was really fun for the animators just to have a lot of like floppy as they're those are probably really fun shots to animate.
I like Joe. I remember the cruel, uncaring eyes of Mr. Bucket. Yep, the scene gave me the heebie-jeebies. I thought it was interesting too,
Oh, and then when Duncan popped the eye.
Oh my gosh! We like looked at each other. We're like, "What the?"
Went like, and then like, it was.
Oh.
And then they just slide it.
They
It
just
looks like an egg. They I'm like,
Poor eye.
Oh, it was so because you just immediately think like you're crushing like a big bug or something.
Oh, gross.
And we've all been there where you got to step on something that's a little too big, and it's like you can hear the crunch. It was even grosser that it had like a pop sound too. Oh.
Yeah, like you see him squishing it, and then
yeah, like the resistance.
You hear it pop, and you're like, oh my god.
That was definitely good. What else? There was somebody that had just put a comment here. I couldn't believe they got away with the eye popping. Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't expecting there to be an octopus. Like, I don't know why. Before they come, I thought it was a good gag with before the inspector comes. I thought it was a great gag with Mike Wazowski where Celia comes in and is like, Merc called. And he's like, oh, you mean Murray's Eye and Retina Center?
Oh. It's been 6 months already?
Like, that's the Mike humor that I just...
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
And can we just once again say how great Billy Crystal still is?
I know.
I mean, he is still just absolutely nailing it. The performers, the animators are still nailing his performance as well. But... oh my gosh. And even like in this one, we'll talk about it in a minute. I don't want to go there yet. But like Billy Crystal in his part with like the Mike's comedy class in this one. So good with his vocal performance. But can we still talk about, I'm still so disappointed with John Goodman. Like, is it just me or does he sound like so empty? Like,
I know it doesn't have the same.
I wonder maybe a lot of his lines had to be recorded. I don't know. I wonder if a lot of these lines were recorded at home. Maybe they went back and they did, So
I kind of feel like he wasn't like in the mental space that he needed to be to deliver these lines. Because like that part where he's like at the end when they're like, we're going to deliver the door to your office. And he's like, Mike, you're going to deliver it to the office? Like it's just all slow and tired and it doesn't have that Sully energy to it. I don't know, but... it just, and like, just still the animation on him, it's good. It's just not 110% like I'm expecting on Mike. Mike's amazing. Sully is still kind of like, in the background. Like, there's still some of his stuff that's not dead on. But again, I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. It's still a great job with the budget and time that they have. I will say that for sure. Yeah, so Billy is on a roll. John's a little slow. Yeah, I feel like... yeah, not sure it's what it... thought at the same time, John Goodman... I mean, yeah, maybe it is. He's just getting older. He's not, able to do it the same way. I wondered the same thing about Argus.
It's one of those refrigerator things. We're not supposed to think about it.
Okay, so that's what you chalk it up to? You just...
like, he took it. You're just not... you don't need to see everything.
He didn't take it.
No, he walked out of the room. We didn't see him walk out of Monsters, Inc.
That's true. He did walk out of the room. We don't know that he didn't fully take it, but...
you're supposed to just...
he's going with the flow a little more now that he's all tan.
To me, it's just one of those things. They're like, they don't need to show everything.
Yeah, that's fair. I also asked you, how'd they get the power back on?
Another thing.
They never
Did they say backup generators, right?
Oh, did they?
I thought they did.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I missed that. So awesome. Giovanni gets a glockenspiel.
All right. Who knows? I might be wrong, but
I'll give you one of those too. It doesn't matter. And JD, Sully hasn't had as many lines in the show in general. Yeah, and John's lines maybe were recorded at a time where he didn't have full context, possibly because of some of the rewrites. Maybe they had to rush some of them. I don't know. So, yeah, Mike was given a lot more to work with. That's true too. Okay, this gag. What did you guys think about the speeding up of the day and night transition for 2 weeks? Ashley, what did you think about that one?
I thought it was really funny because progressively got faster, and then it just like rapidly switched between all of them, and then it was like, all right, it's been 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I like that they were doing like as they were doing it too, you could hear like the hoo, 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 like the owls at night, and like oh, it was great with the sound effects. But yeah, usually they'll either do like the YouTuber thing, like 12 hours later, or they do the the
SpongeBob thing.
like one time, the SpongeBob thing, or they do like the one night and then they come back. It's not usually like 2 solid weeks.
What's funny is our 14-year-old nephew, I saw him today, and he said how much he loves this show.
Really?
Yes, Trevor
Awesome.
loves it. And he said that this was his favorite episode. And I was like, oh, that's funny, because it just reminded me of something, like, especially that part.
Yeah. So Joe's mentioning, should the team messing up power for the whole city should have had bigger consequences.
Yeah, we were like talking like, who do you blame? Like, whose fault was it? We were trying to who's full blame? Because
out of Tyler, Cutter, and Duncan, who
but would the company have held that division liable? I thought it was interesting how it went pretty severe right off the bat. Like when Sully was like, all of these things are, did he said dismissal or firing?
dismissal.
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting that it's like you've never heard, like, I've never thought of Mike or Sully being like, you're gonna get let go.
But then, right. Tyler stood up for him, and then Duncan stood up for Tyler, and I was like, oh, everybody wins.
Well, that's what Fritz came in and said, you guys are fighting for each other. Or he didn't say that, though. He said it the wrong way, of course. Okay, so one other observation, I loved how the eyes went through the pneumatics.
Oh,
when the eyes were going out and seeing everything. I thought it was interesting, and I wonder why the one red tube, the one that came back, was the one that nailed them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was
That's
like,
what I said. I was like, of course it's in the red tube.
Yeah. It made it even more like ominous.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting, but I loved, again, that the direction of going through all the different angles that the team staged and directed was fantastic for that as well. I think as far as the screenshots, I looked up this to see if that 234 number was anything. It's an area code in Ohio. I don't think Joe's not around there, but I looked up the full phone number and I couldn't find anything. So then we've got Argus. I liked his little briefcase, and I liked that when you clicked them open, they went down. When you click open a briefcase, those little flaps, like the locks, click up. Mm-hmm. These click down. I thought that was cool. Monstropolis Energy Regulatory Commission. This, I presume, has to be, I was guessing, like employee signatures, or just fun stuff that they can throw in for their own Easter eggs. I did think their money was, from a graphic design standpoint, needed more juice. I was like, oh, the Monster World would have cooler money.
No, it does. It's got, scales. It looks like our money. It's just boring.
That's true. Yeah, if you go to other countries, they've got really cool money. Yeah. The United States is like, eh.
Everything's green.
Yeah. This shot, I just had to laugh because the poor paperwork for Mike, his inbox.
Oh, that's good.
Never ends. He's always got more. And then I wondered, when I started looking at this, I'm like, why was the phone drilled to the desk? It was water noose, because of his, claws and hands, fumbly with the phone, or did he slam it a lot? Why was that drilled down? Mm-hmm. It's a cool design. And most of the phones only have 4 buttons, 1, 2, 3, 4. This one has 9, it appears. Because I was noticing that with Cutter and everything.
Oh man.
The briefcase of the eyes. Yeah, the locks go downward instead of up. Oh yeah, just lifeless.
Yeah, I wonder how those eyeballs were doing for 2 weeks, just sitting in that briefcase.
Probably all the other ones were looking at him like, you okay? And he's just sitting there in a puddle.
An eye puddle.
Okay, so let's see. Yeah, nobody saw nothing. We got that coming in again. That line has come back a couple times. We'll figure something out 2 weeks later. They were going to give him a write-up with a warning. Duncan and Tyler sacrifice for each other. And then the vacation door to Mike's office. I thought that was cool that Mike was like, well, I'll take it. Like...
managed here.
Yeah.
That's definitely like, I mean, Mike has just wanted to go somewhere. Sully turns into Roz's brother.
What a twist.
Yeah. Oh boy. That would change the whole movie. First person pixels, what has you gotten characters and ideas of the series and the movie characters? Okay, all right, yeah. And yes, you've mentioned this, Spencer. Last episode comes on your birthday, so your birthday is August 25th. Happy birthday in a month. Yeah, so for a second, I almost thought Tyler and Duncan were both going to get let go in an MU-esque ending.
Yeah.
That would have been interesting. But I guess in miffed terms, like they're already kind of at like that mailroom level. Mm-hmm. Like they, they're just going to get let go and have to like figure out a way to come
go
back.
To the other energy place.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. They'd have to go to like a different... That would be interesting. I wonder if that'll ever happen in a future episode. Like if they'll see like Fear Tech. Oh, that was another university. What was one of the other companies?
Oh, you're saying like the one like Johnny worked for that was on the scare card? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we were talking about that, how there's like other factories.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll ever go to another one of those. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so okay, let me just cut past some of these other ones. Okay, so yes, we didn't circle back to also where Cutter... Yeah, we talked about her journal, actually, didn't we? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I love that she was like, oh man, after he wasn't dead, and crumples it up and throws it. Cutter's hilarious. I like even that shot with the eyes. She's going to cut it with like the circular saw. She's going to come down on it. Okay, so let's see. Other things I want to talk about. So we've got the credits in the music.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
These are always
so good.
These are so good. That one was your favorite one?
That one was my favorite one.
Yeah.
Okay.
The baseball one, I'm a fan.
Those are by far the best ones.
Yeah.
I think I still like the baseball one a little bit more,
They
probably
don't
just
have
because I like the
these
organy thing.
Out, right?
But they don't have any. They need just a disc of these.
Yeah.
Just
not a disc, just put them out there.
Well,
nobody buys discs.
Okay, fine. Okay, a collection. Old man ahead.
Yeah, come on, Grandpa.
So I want to see some of these other factories that are still presumably running on screen energy, the way Argus emphasized how MI with, oh yeah, I'll see you, laugh boy, like Laughter Boy or something like that.
What about Mike's comedy class?
Well, so actually, the Caribbean style steel drum music, yeah, that was great. And then the final line after the credits, before we get to the other, was, hey Ma, we're going to make it. It's going to be okay. I know you were dependent on that temporary supervisor money coming in. No, I love you too. Turn up your hearing aid, Ma. So good.
That's cute.
Yeah. So Lara wants to know, is episode 3 still my favorite, or does this one top it?
Wow.
So
he wrote it down.
The next one that I have here, so I'm going to put it in the chat myself, is 3, episode 3, episode 5, 4, 2, or
1 and 2.
1 and 2. Yeah, 1, 2. That's my order, in case anybody else wants to see it. So yeah, 3, the baseball one is still my favorite. This one is now second favorite.
Oh, this one's my first. So I'm 5-3.
So 5 has become your favorite.
Yes, this is my
so
favorite.
and then the baseball one. So you and I are just flopped.
Yep.
And then from there,
I
guess it really
probably,
doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have to get that granular with it. But yeah, the baseball one's still my favorite. This one's your favorite. Mm-hmm. Ashley first, and then Giovanni. What do you think?
This one's my favorite.
Okay.
Baseball. I don't know about.
Well, he's thinking.
Giovanni is. Yeah.
I know, but I can't decide because I really like the baseball one. It's like a toss. It's honestly a toss up between these two.
It's a toss.
Oh, there he goes.
Oh, Lauren's with you too.
Yeah, 3, 5, 4, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Mine was 1, 2. Yeah. Okay, Kel. Yep, right there with Julie. And then Ro came in with 4, 5, 3, 1, 2. Oh, 4 was your favorite. Nice. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely like there's a lot to give
It's
here.
good. The
like,
stories are getting like they're good.
Yes.
Like, it's such a fun show.
Yeah. And can I also say I like how Mike is peeking at the camera. What am I? Oh, that Mike. Yeah. Brendan's 5, 3, 4, 1, 2. 5. Oh, 5, 5, 3. Are you? So it's yours basically. Nice. 5, 3, 4, 2, 1. Yep. So it's either 3 or 5. That's usually the first. But then as soon as I say that, Brian's coming in hot with the episode 1.
Whoa, that was all right.
Yeah, he likes meeting everybody, like the setup. I get it. And then Wolf, I can't pick. Yeah, I get it. It's hard. But yeah, I mean the baseball one's going to be hard for me to. First off, it's got a character named TJ. I mean,
easy points right there.
Yeah.
And then about baseball. I
Yeah.
mean, so yeah, 3, 5, 4, 1, 2. Yeah, it's very similar for everybody. Okay, so the Mike's comedy class. I enjoyed the completely literal knock knock joke description.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
That was-
What did you think about that one?
I just thought that was hilarious because that is literally like describing knock knock jokes to like a bunch of 4-year-olds. You know, who like just, well, what? I don't, why? Like, it's,
Yeah.
I can see you.
Yeah.
You need some kind of barrier. And by the way, keep in mind that we, as much as we love Cutter and her vocal work, for Carla, who's saying that with Chuck, that's also what's her name? Elena Ubach.
Oh, is it?
That's the same voice as Cutter. So she's doing her as well.
Wow, look at that range.
Yeah. Oh, she does a bunch of stuff. So yeah. So the so I love that. I love just like the deadpan, and he's progressively getting more and more stressed. Like Mike, he's just like, no, you're, and then Chuck, you're asking me to lie to kids, like
That got me. I was laughing so hard at that. He's like, I can't lie to kids. Don't make me lie. He's like on the verge of tears. Yeah, I thought that was hilarious.
But it's hilarious when they just cut to that stretcher out of nowhere.
Oh.
This is hilarious.
I said that's what he looks like when he gets stressed at work, and he comes out here and he's like, I can't do it anymore. It's like that's exact. It's oh man.
I just absolutely love that Mike. Like that to me is a very Billy Crystal. Like he's like, I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. It's literally the foundation of comedy. Like, oh, it's so good. The stretcher was the best. She's also done Maria in number 3. Absolutely. Elena Ubach. Sorry. Oh, I had a nitpick about that one because in the 3rd episode, Rose told a knock-knock joke, but I'm not trying to overthink it. Did Rose tell a knock-knock joke to the comedy class? Because that's where... But that really also... Doesn't that show you, like, how much they have to, like, turn everything over in their worlds? Like, these scarers are totally clueless. Mm-hmm. Like, they're like, what?
Right.
Why? What's this laughter? Which is why when Mike was, like, exhausted in that other episode where he's, like, putting, like, you know... Where Fungus is helping him, like, clean out his contact and everything. I still love that they kept the contact alive. That's so funny, too. Yeah, love Mike being dramatic at the end. But yeah, it really shows how far they were going to have to come to get these scarers up to par. It's called humor. Hi, Moko. So, okay.
Episodes.
So, okay. Do we want to talk about... I'll leave this up to Ashley. It's a dealer's choice. It's a dealer's choice. Do you want to run through the episodes that are coming next week? Or do you want to talk about an interview with Bob Peterson about Roz and Rose that Brendan found and put in the forum, the Pixar Post forum? So which one would you like to talk about first, Ashley? Next episode or the interview with Bob Peterson about Roz and Rose?
Well, the interview sounds interesting.
To the interview we go. Okay, so I'll save the majority of it. If you guys want to read it, you can just go to forum.pixarpost.com and then go to the Monsters at Work news snippets one, and it's a New York Times article. There's a couple interesting things that Bob Peterson talks about in here. And the interviewer asks, Roz was your first role in a feature film. How does someone that is not a vocal actor end up in it? What I thought was interesting is because, we probably fans of this mostly know that it was, he's doing the scratch vocals and then it eventually sticks. Like, so he's doing the temporary vocal track and then eventually they're like, yes, this is fantastic. But what he did is he talked about, he was doing some dialogue and he was writing, he stepped up to the mic and he just tried to suck all the fun out of the room. I conjured up a voice that was like a didgeridoo, which is hopefully the most appealing, pathetic sound you could make. We auditioned a bunch... Unappealing, yes. We auditioned a bunch of actresses, but Disney eventually said, oh, just put him in it. I didn't know that other people were auditioning for it.
Oh, wow.
So I thought that was kind of cool. And then they say the voice sounds like you're running your vocal cords over sandpaper. And Bob said, I can only do it for like 20 minutes. He's like, I have to take a break or come back because it starts to sound like his voice says it sounds like it's too chewed up. Oh. So, because I guess he's really like, oh boy. Because, that's really like...
Yeah, that's a lot on your throat.
Yeah, absolutely. So he said he can only do it for about 20 minutes. And then I'll save the best question that he answers for last, but that I need to talk about with everybody in here. What's something fun about Roz that didn't make it into the film? And they said she used to breathe fire. So when we storyboarded her the first time, we had Mike and Sully going to her office and her yelling, "Get out!" And then we cut to them running down the hall with like a burst of flames, like pursuing them down the hall. Oh. That was kind of cool.
Interesting.
So those are just like interesting fun facts. You can again read the whole article out and about, on the forum to read that. But this is interesting. So they ask him like, what's up with Rose and Roz? And they say people should keep watching Rose. So this is what he says. People should keep watching Rose. There are some surprises coming up and people can conjecture, but I'm not sure they'll be able to guess what they are. So
is it Roz?
So is Rose Roz? Is that what he's trying to get at? Like, and people can conjecture, but I'm not sure they'll be able to guess what they are. Like, so that was one of the things that the interviewer kind of led him down. Like, we've never seen them together. Is Roz really Rose in
disguise?
I was wondering, is the CDA still a thing?
Yeah.
Because if they know that children aren't toxic, maybe they just, now they're like not worried about it.
Yeah.
So maybe
comedy detection agency.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Oh, look at this. This is yeah, so that makes me really wonder, like, what is this big surprise? Because if you really chose the right order here, Ashley, because now if you read the description for the upcoming episodes, I don't hear anywhere where there could be like something that's going to be this big surprise. So next week, episode 6 is called The Vending Machine. So Tyler's job is threatened when he breaks Miff's favorite vending machine on the day Fritz must fire someone due to budget cuts.
You said that last week.
I read this one?
No, you said that's Fritz was gonna...
Somebody mentioned it in the comments,
okay.
And then I read it. Yeah. Meanwhile, Miff tries boosting morale at Monsters... Or Mike tries boosting morale at Monsters, Inc. So... Wait, does Rose get fired? No, she's not part of the Miff team. He wouldn't have control over her. I don't know, but that's interesting. I don't hear anywhere where Rose could come in there. Episode 7, Adorable returns. So this is the play on the abominable snowman. Why not adorable snowman? Tyler Yeah, agree. No, I love it. Do it.
Yeah.
Tyler mistakenly allows the banished adorable snowman to return to Monsters, Inc., fearing he'll also be banished. Tyler struggles to get him back before he's discovered. Meanwhile, Val searches for the secret as to why the snowman was banished in the first place. That's going to be a great storyline.
Uh-huh.
I really want to know. I wish Cutter was kind of examining it, though. Mm-hmm. Like, I want Cutter to be the one that's like...
She'll be there, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I need to know that. So then, episode 8, Little Monsters. Tyler sees an opportunity to get promoted as a jokester during Mini Monster Day at Monsters, Inc., when he's paired with Mrs. Flint's daughter. Can he get her to laugh? So this one, obviously, he's going to try to, like, get out of Miffed and...
Take your kid to work day.
Mini Monster Day. A Little Monster. And then episode 9, Bad Hair Day. So abandoning his dream of becoming a jokester, Tyler sets his sights on becoming the perfect Mifter. But when he loses the sacred hair of David, a former employee, Tyler must get it back before the Mift team finds out. So David was one of the people that, like, they said they had his hair in a jar, right?
I think so.
Wasn't that the one?
I think so.
Yeah, so where would anything with Rose fit into this?
It's going to be a small...
I know.
Like...
Maybe that's like... Is that kind of like the cliffhanger at the end? It wouldn't be.
No, it's going to be something small.
I really want to know. So maybe... And he corrected himself in the next one. Maybe Rose is a secret villain. I don't think that one will be... Yeah, I already posted this one, but that Rose might be Ra's undercover yet again, making sure Mike and Sully are doing a good job. Who's Macappa in the final episode? That'd be cool if they bring back anybody.
Probably next season, I bet.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I don't think there'll be any like huge stuff. Who do you think will be fired? Or will Fritz find a way to not fire anyone? Who would you want to be fired so that's a great question, Brendan. So it does seem like they couldn't get rid of anybody at this point, right?
No.
I mean, like, they can't really fire...
Something will happen, and...
Do they...
Yeah.
It's gonna be like when, in The Office, when Michael has to fire someone, and he just doesn't do it, and then it just goes away.
Yeah.
He's just like, nah, everyone's gonna stay. It's like, okay, there you go, problem solved.
Yeah. So let's answer the second part. Julie, you can go first on this one. If you had to fire one of the Mifters,
I can't
you
decide.
had to, who would it be? So Val, Duncan,
I can't decide.
Fritz, he could fire himself.
Well, yeah, he could just do early retirement or something. Just be like, take one for the team.
Roto.
Maybe that's the loophole.
Well, that's what we had talked about before.
Yeah, Roto. Yeah, early retirement. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Roto, that's... Roto. I doubt he's on the payroll. Okay, you got to pick one, though. You have to.
I can't.
Real life, you are in charge of Mift.
Tyler.
Oh
Tyler?
Because he's the newest. He's the newest.
Okay.
How about reassigning Tyler to the laugh floor and nobody loses their job?
Yeah.
Giovanni, we are playing...
You have to pick. We're picking Sophie's choice here.
Banana bread. I still forget about banana bread. But you see the last line here? Who would you want to be fired if it were up to you? I'll ask you guys in the chat since I've got an uncooperative group.
I said somebody.
I would fire Val. Sorry.
No. I mean,
came down with that hammer, man.
Well, after it was brought up, I thought about it, and I can't get rid of Cutter. She's got the great lines.
I like Cutter. I love Duncan.
I cannot get rid of Duncan. Fritz is too lovable.
Yeah.
Tyler, it would be between Tyler and Val. I would even keep banana bread. I love banana bread. And then, by the way, yes, take an obscure relative to work day. I wish it was that instead of Mini Monster Day. It's but I guess that was because it was made up. Okay, let's just...
we had a moment like that in this episode where he's like, "It's park anywhere you want day," I guess.
That's true. Yeah, he does. He's
tied that in.
That's great. He's carrying that, like, just making up a ridiculous thing. Oh man, Bri. So we've got a lot for Tyler's.
Yeah.
He doesn't even want to be there. I guess. I mean, he's coming around. And Brian, TJ, how could you? Sorry.
Right, Brian.
He could be a parking attendant at the other. Yeah, see, Tyler. Tyler's the... Oh, boy, Tyler.
Not looking good for old Tyler.
All right, Ashley, Giovanni. Who would it be?
I mean, you already said it, so I'm going to say it too. I would fire Val.
I like this. She's on my side. I got somebody at least.
I'm on his side. I'm sorry.
Cleo Cat. Cutter or Duncan?
No.
Come on. Oh, yeah. Hey, remember the time we both got fired from our MU library internship? So, anyways, what else? Anything else that we have to talk about? We somebody mentioned it in the chat, and I posted it up there real quick, but Argus Blinks, John Michael Higgins voiced him. If you look him up, he's literally been in too many projects. He's like, and I'm forgetting his name. The other guy that I was like, he was like Booger, and in all this other. He's been in literally everything since like the 80s. He's never not worked. So yeah, just look him up, John Michael Higgins. And Spencer Lee, you're saying I forgot episode 7. 7 was the Adorable Returns, so that was the Abominable Snowman one. If Tyler gets fired, then Duncan would just keep talking about it. So cool. So anything else that we have to talk about from this episode?
No, I think we covered everything.
We covered a lot, and we even talked about an extra Bob Peterson interview in there. So thanks for finding that one that was out there, Brendan. Cleo, I still can't get over it. You can't get rid of Duncan? Duncan, you cannot get rid of Duncan. Duncan's too good. So, all right. So, I guess anything else comes up, of course, you guys can go, of course, to the forum, and you can leave your thoughts, comments, or any observations you have. As far as the episode next week, we're going to get excited to talk about the vending machine, so we'll see what comes up with that one. Do we have a cat coming into frame?
Yeah, she's trying really hard.
You can let her in.
We might do the next one next week on Wednesday.
Okay, why is that?
Because I have to wake up really super early on Friday.
You do?
Yeah, next Friday.
Oh, what's going on Friday? I don't even know.
Vacation.
Oh, you're leaving. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
So, okay. So keep an ear and an eye out, everybody. We will let you guys know. Should we just say that it's going to be next Wednesday?
Next Wednesday.
All right. Next Wednesday.
And then the other time I can log in remotely to join them.
You'll be a guest.
I'll be a guest.
On our own podcast or on our own hangout. So next Wednesday, we're going to move this up one day. So August 4th, next Wednesday, 10 o'clock, we're going to be jumping in and talk about episode 6, The Vending Machine. So in the meantime, thank you again to everybody for hanging out with us. I don't know how to end this thing. Wait, this is how you do it.
Here we go.
All right. And until next time, you guys stay tuned to PixarPost.com all week for the latest Pixar news. Thank you again, seriously, to everybody in the chat. We had a blast talking about this episode. All right. See you. Bye.
Bye.